Alright, so today my boy and I are going to cook up some ribs on our Traeger. And I've been keeping a Bible of my recipes. And since nobody can read my handwriting, we're going to do this on film. So started with 2 racks of baby backs, and we've already removed the inner skin on the ribs here. And then we decided after that we might as well film it. So you don't get to see how to do that. I'm sure you can see somewhere else how to do that. So basic recipe, I like to keep it simple here. We're going to put a little salt and pepper. This is on the inside, on the rib side. Not as much meat on this side, so we're going to salt and pepper this up. This is just sea salt. It's already been ground. I'm a little bit fanatical when it comes to salts, but nothing iodized here. No iodine in this. Pure sea salt. A little bit of smoked paprika. Doesn't have to be smoked, it's going on a smoker. That's what we got. So that's the inside. I'm going to flip it on over. I hit it with just a real quick dusting of spray just to make the pepper stick. Salt and pepper this side too, as generously as you want. Essential though, even if you don't like pepper, do it. Paprika. Paprika is going to give it a good color, make it get a little bit of a spice to it, a little heat. This we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder and salt. You can't use too much salt. These racks have rested outside the fridge, sealed up in their package for 24 hours. They're room temperature. Never put meat on your grill, it's colder than room temperature, or your smoker. So there we go. Next step, we'll go out, heat up the smoker, introduce it to it, and start the cooking process. Okay, so here we are out. I get a lot of flack that it's winter time, but we're smoking. My smoker runs 4 or 5 days a week all year long. So a little shot of the mountains to the west of us. It is February. We're out here shirt sleeves, but it's for people that live in this state. It's pretty cold for them. Anyway, got the Traeger fired up here. I like doing cherry. We're going to use cherry wood today. So I fill about half of the hopper of cherry, and then I put mesquite on the top. Mesquite's going to be just for our heat for later, but I like putting the cherry on. It gives a little bit redder. Okay, so this is kind of an adapted recipe from what you'll find on Traeger's recipe site for these ribs. It's a good basis. I like to go a little bit different with it. So the Traeger's been on for a few minutes. You can see it's got a little bit of smoke going on. I always start with it clean. Not that ever good happens when you start with it dirty. It still turns out good, but doesn't turn out best. So we're gonna smoke these ribs, and we're gonna have meat side up, bone side down. That's how we're gonna layer them on here to start with. So you've seen us prepare 2. But we figure if you're gonna smoke 2 racks, why not smoke 4 racks? So. I mean, rack, I'm not saying a rack. So we actually have 6 racks of ribs, but 4 pairs. Let's see if we can get these all to fit in here. These are baby backs. I went to my favorite meat store and they were on sale. Got a couple of boys going to be here this weekend, and it's a long weekend. we're going to eat ribs. So again, meat side down. The hottest part of my Traeger is kind of the front. I want to keep them away from that. Each grill or smoker, whatever you use, is going to have hot, cold spots. All I want to do with this run is put a good smoke to it. So it's going to be loaded up on here, 3 hours. I'll come out probably an hour and a half and give it a check, but 3 hours from now. My smoker's going to run wind closed on a day like today. I'm going to be about 170 on that smoke setting. That's what typically we have. So, and there we are. 3 hours later, we'll be back. All right, so we're back out here. It's been about an hour and a half. I'm going to go ahead and check on my meat. Looks like today we're smoking at about 147 because it's cooler. Still got a lot of good pellets. Got some smoke coming out. Go ahead and peek in here and see what we're looking like. I mentioned earlier about number of racks of ribs, and due to my edumacation from Idaho, I guess I can't count. Looks like we're gonna have 6 racks of those ribs on there today. So I've never smoked this many at one time, but I guess if you're smoking one, why not smoke 6? So looking pretty good. I'm getting that good smoke on them right now, and we're gonna let them go another hour and a half. See how we're gonna do. See you back then. All right, neighbor's blowing weeds, but you can hear me. It's like we're at about 158 smoking. It's been 3 hours. We're going to take them off and take them in and work their magic up to the next ones. See, not looking too bad. All right, so here we are in the house, and we're going to do the second portion of these ribs. So we're going to take one of the racks, lay it out here. Boy, I think it's perfect smoky. I take that honey, meat side up here, brush the honey on all over it. Make sure you get it covered. Can't go too wrong. Then we're going to sprinkle on some brown sugar. Covering on the brown sugar. Some pats of butter. And we're going to flip it over. Repeat same process on the back. Good meaty slab here. There's the honey. And brown sugar. That's all there is to it. Take one more piece of tin foil, lay it down over and seal it up. Roll it up pretty good and tight. You're going to have a lot of juice gonna leak out. These ribs are pretty good. Sometimes I do 2 on the bottom, 1 full on the top. There it is, ready to go back on the Traeger. So we'll get the rest done up and then we'll meet out there and put them on. Alright, here we are. We're going to put these on. Important thing here, meat side is down. When I put them in the tin foil, I put the honey, brown sugar, 4 pats of butter, and then I flipped it over. So I always roll these up so I know that the top up right now is the bone side. So you want the meat side down during this portion of the cooking. Let's scrunch this up, see if I can get them all on here. Because the day is a little cooler, we got the Traeger set at 250. We're going to try to hold for 250 degrees. Something I'll keep my eye on. Try to keep it right out about 250. This is going to be a 3-hour process. We'll look at them after 3 hours and see how tender we are. There we are. Meat side down on all of them. Alright, so we pulled them out after about 2.5 hours on the Traeger. As you can see, they're done. You can let them go a little bit longer, get them a little bit more tender if you want, but these are fall off the bone tender. You can see a little piece there comes off. Next step is I put them to another pan, and while it sits there for just a second, all of its glory, they reached about 200 degrees and they just kind of been sweating in there. Now I take a little bit of any sauce you want. This is a raspberry chipotle, roasted raspberry chipotle sauce. This is the good stuff right here. You take this and you pour it in there. You give a little whip up here. So you got that good caramel on there and that chipotle sauce. Put it right back on. Just a light dusting of it. And it's too bad they haven't invented a way that you could smell through video. Believe me, it is as good as it looks. Here's a piece we tried just to see how it was, and you can see it just falls off the bone, just flakes right off. Now, if you're happy with the tenderness of your ribs, at this point, you're done. If you want maybe a little more tender, or just to set the sauce, you can put them back on the Traeger for about 15-20 minutes more. It'll kind of set the sauce a little firmer, but this is the way we like them. And so, next step is eating.